Hi, so I thought I would record a quick video on a topic related to productivity, and this is related to what I've been thinking about just now, actually, before recording this. And basically, it's about what does it mean to be well organized. And basically, I started thinking about it because, like, there's various things that I feel uh, kind of are standing in my way standing in my way when I try to like do some task. Maybe I want to like uh, program, and I find that like my files are not very well organized, and so like that stands in the way. Then I get into organizing them, and then I get stuck organizing them to the point where I'm just like uh, I'm not like doing the programming anymore, and that was the whole purpose of it. And so like then I just kind of okay, I'm not gonna organize it. I'll just let it go. But then things are, the problem remains. Things are still not organized very well, and I it seems like it would be a good idea to keep things tidy and such that arranged such that they don't stand in my way when I'm doing something. And actually, the way that they're organized helps me to uh, continue this activity in the most efficient and productive way. So I kind of thought about various things that are related to this, and what I realized is the problem was that I wasn't thinking about the whole activity of organization uh, in the right way. And the thing is, like the question that at some point during my kind of thought process, I uh, came to ask myself was, well, um, what determines, what is it that determines whether you have organized well or not? Like whether the whole endeavor of organizing was successful or not. Because like I'm sure like a lot of people had an experience where they just like got into like organizing everything, and like they you sort of like feel like yeah, okay, like now I spent like several days like organizing my stuff, now everything's organized. Then you move on with your life, start doing other things. Then you realize like, oh, like this way I organized it actually doesn't quite work, and so I have to go back to it and reorganize it or undo what I organized and like do it in a different way. It's just, and it's kind of like, well, then you think like, well, what was the point? Like I spent so much time on it, but like I got nowhere. I had to redo it anyways. But the point is that like it feels good sometimes to just like stay on one thing and just keep doing it until you're done, and then move on to the next one. But the question that I asked myself, which was, what determines the success of organizing? It's not whether it feels good or if things look tidy and orderly, like that. What uh, a well organized set of things is a set of things that is organized according to the activity that you're planning to do. So you have to keep that in mind. So like there is no correct way to organize anything. Like that's what I kind of came to realize. There is no correct way to organize anything, and the only thing that determines whether you are well organized or not is if your things well organized in relation to what you are planning to do, to what you know in your mind you want to do. So at first you need to know what you want, and only then can you organize things according to that intention, and then you can be well organized. Like I hope this makes sense, because like for me it was uh, kind of it clarified some um, some things, and it was very helpful. So I just wanted to share this, hoping that someone will find it useful as well. Um, Basically, yes, like the main thing is just that um, you have to know what you want, and then you organize according to that. I think it's really important to let go of this notion that there is a correct way or even the correct way uh, to organize something. Because like that's what makes it confusing. It's like, well, like my room isn't tidy, I have to like put things in order, like, but then the question arises, well, what is order? And that order really depends on what it is that you're planning to do. It's like it can, to someone else it might look like a total mess, but that's okay as long as that mess makes sense to you and it doesn't stand in your way of doing what it is that you are trying to accomplish. So like your own intentions determine what determine how you're gonna proceed when you're trying to organize in preparation for the activities that you're planning to do, because those activities will determine what it means to be finished with organizing, because otherwise you don't know, otherwise you'll be just doing like random things that sort of like feel good, look good, and or seem like a good idea, or someone told you that it's a good idea, but ultimately like all that is irrelevant, because if that doesn't serve you, doesn't suit your whatever it is that you're trying to do, then that's all gonna have to be just like, it's either gonna be there and serve no purpose, or it might stand in your way, in which case you'll have to redo it. So like staying well organized or being well organized is like the key thing to understand is that it's a relative notion. Uh, it's not an absolute thing. There is no like, it's not a math equation that has a one correct answer. Let's say it is something that has a correct answer, but that answer uh, is determined by the activity that you're planning to do. So like I hope it makes sense what I'm saying. So that also means that if you change your plans, if you change your intention to do, I don't know, like whatever changes, then your organization will also probably need adjustment. Uh, um, you'll have to take into consideration what changes took place, and then you'll probably see that, well, now that has changed, now I should like organize things differently, because like what I thought before does not apply anymore, because my intention has changed. And so like you see that this is like a relative notion. It's completely dependent on what it is that you're planning to do. Like I'm sure maybe some people kind of already think, well, that's kind of obvious, but I don't know, like I feel like all of us at one point or another like get into a trap of like just like let me like do like organize everything nice and tidy, but then later you kind of come back and see like, well, now that I'm doing this other thing, like all of this stuff that I did before stops working, and that's when you need to change it. And it's important also to be open to changing it, because that will allow you to stay well organized. So like well organized means also being flexible with the way you organize things. Like if you get attached to a certain way that you set things up, and you say like, well, that's how I like it, but like does it work for what you're planning to do, or maybe it just stands in your way? So like that's something that's something to ask yourself. uh, yeah. So yeah, these are my thoughts on organizing. Basically, to sum it up, staying well organized or being well organized is a relative notion. And what is it relative to? It's relative to the activity that you're planning to do, and that activity will determine how you'll need to organize things so that you can then proceed with that activity in the most efficient and optimal way. So okay, I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.